What's up, ladies and gents, and welcome back to Forza Horizon 5. We are here with the Going for Marigold Seasonal Championship. We have to use a classic racer in the B class. Now, if we open this and actually go for the cars that are available, you will see a lot of very expensive things. We choose the Lotus Cortina 1966, the Ford Lotus Cortina, I should say. You have to search for it under Ford. The tuning share code is in the description. It's unfortunately the only one that is affordable and on the auto shop. So that's what we choose. It is what it is. I would also prefer driving around in a Ford GT. But unfortunately that does not meet the requirements. But again, it is what it is, and that's what we are going to work with. So here we are. And we start race number 1. Obviously a lot of cars here that are, well, classic. Let's call them classic. But all of them rather expensive, apart from the one we are using. So. We also have a fairly drivable car if we really want to come down to it. A lot of these other cars are very hard to drive, very hard to control. This one, however, not so much. Quarter of a race done, almost. And we are nearing first place. And I'm confident we will get that rather quickly. Maybe already up that hill. And it very much looks like it. We're going rather quickly through that corner for that car and how well or unwell it handles, so we nearly went out there, but it's all good, you know. Whoa, initiating a drift, a classic race drift, with a little bit of a side swipe attached to it. Let's knock over that sign, just because we can. 60% done. I'm kind of sad that we don't get an S1 class race. What I don't get is why you say, okay, the only classic racer that you get in this week's rewards is obtained in the race where you have to use a classic racer. Like, it's likely that you have several of the classic racers already, if you did last week's challenges. But unfortunately I can't just assume that you did last week. So I can't just assume that you have certain cars that are not obtainable otherwise. And that really makes the car selection difficult. Like, it would be pretty easy for me to say, hey, I want to use this car, I want to use that car, because I have like most of the cars. And if you can't do it, well, you know, that's your problem, you know. But I don't think that would be very fair, so I don't really want to go so bad. Where we have a race? We're up top right, we have the races. Yeah, there is one. I hate driving in the city. Credits. It's kind of funny how from week to week the amount of credits doesn't really change, because I always look for tuning possibilities, and they cost money, and then you drive races with it and get money, and then in the end you come out to about the same. Although, to be fair, I have like hundreds of wheel spins stacked up that I didn't use yet, so... And that is one point. If you do weekly stuff, you get so many wheel spins as well, which can get you money. So if you do it all and then use wheel spins, you would get a certain plus from week to week, I think. And then that would allow you to buy cars if you lack them. I want to quickly take a picture here. Just because that gets me 4 out of the way at once. Which is kind of cool. I don't have all the cars photographed, but I have a lot of them. And I kind of like that. As you can also see, the cars, the other cars, your opponents, are not very stable on the road, so you can often overtake them because they are sliding away a little bit. Like the overtake for third that we just saw. Already 25% done, that was actually rather quick. Hold it through. And left. It's actually looking pretty well. There we go. To this, that one is actually pretty tight. We accelerated a little bit too early, but it's okay. Could have been worse, right? Hold it through this corner, and we have half of the race done. It feels like the second quarter took a lot longer than the first one. But that's just personal feeling. I don't know if it's actually true. It just felt so much slower, but I mean, it's possible that it felt slower because we didn't fight anyone anymore, and that just made it a little bit more boring, right? Time passes quicker if you're enjoying yourself. Or so they say. Although sometimes when we're enjoying ourselves, things are over a lot quicker than we actually anticipated. There we go. Oh, that very nearly went wrong. 3 quarters done, but that's interesting. Like the third quarter now felt a lot faster again. But obviously not every 25% goes by the same. I mean, if you have a section of the track that is rather slow, then it takes longer to complete 25% of the distance. That makes sense. So, there is that. More ultimate clean racing skills. I think I actually said last week that if I see how many ultimate skills I have, I will let you know, but I saw it on the screen and then I immediately forgot again, so I think it was 4,000 something, but I don't know. That's really just, I think, maybe? Possibly I have seen something? I don't know, it's difficult. Sorta. Where's the last one? There it is. Another 15k. And we got 30k. If we get a number 15k, then it's 45, but we also spent like 30 something on the tune, I think. I'm not entirely sure. Obviously, I already had some parts because I did an A-class tune, then I did a different A-class tune, and now I did a B-class tune on this car. Because I did so many different things with it. The first tune I had on it was more about acceleration. The second tune I had on it, for the A-class both, was about top speed, because it was a speed tripper. You had a long straight, you didn't really need to accelerate a whole lot, you just had to reach a high top speed. And then the last tune is this B-class one, and then I had to buy parts again. You know, I invested a lot of money into this car, probably a lot more than the car itself is actually worth. already breezing past when we actually choose the outside line here. Because I didn't want to go into that tight gap there. Whoops. Let's actually overtake now. Brake hard into that corner. Let off the brakes before the racing line turned blue, but you don't always have to listen to the racing line, right? Follow it when you deem it necessary, don't when you don't. Whoa. Held it pretty hard for that corner. Now I'm going to take a photo of that lone car there. That is an ugly one. I probably offended a whole lot of people right there that really appreciate such classic ones, but... Oh, a little bit late. That worked shockingly well. Nearing 50% now. So the second half will be a lot more relaxed with nobody to overtake. That's usually when I start making mistakes. It's when like you have a race in the bag, you have a championship in the bag, but concentration is going down. That's really when the mistakes start to creep in, usually. Because they're not really full focused. Oh, that was late. Like I said, that's when the mistakes are starting to creep up. What I did here was used the e-brake, handbrake, to initiate a drift so that we don't just drive straight on into the wall, which would have cost us a lot more speed than just using our rear end to bump into the wall. And I was just late on the brakes. I thought like, oh, for that right turn we don't need to brake, the racing line is lying, and you can brake later, but we were a little too late. Especially because we weren't going all straight into that corner, so that makes braking a little bit more difficult as well. Had to lift there. Here as well. 2 short lifts. Here as well, another lift. But nowhere near as slow as the racing line suggests, and we didn't also brake any hard. Actually, we didn't brake at all. There we go into the finish line. Woo! Finishing in style, even though the car isn't really stylish, but that's another issue. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. And until next time, farewell.